Yo, let's be honest. If you are black in America, you are in the sunken place. And I hope you wake the fuck up.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than
Yo,
black.
what is good? This is Ohaji Chikilu Amamu, and this is the first episode, Black as Fuck podcast. This is the podcast where I'm going to tell you the facts, the realness, the truth. Because that's all I can do right now. Because I keep getting fired from my job for being too black. That's why I'm black as fuck. That's the name of this title. But this episode is to talk about the sunken place. And you have to understand what that is. Well, the sunken place is basically when your true self is not in reality. Basically, yourself can see reality without being in reality. You're only the passenger. You're not the driver. And I think that's how black people are in America, if that makes sense. Because you're not a driver, you're in a passenger seat, you can only see what happens. You cannot maneuver your own self. And that's what I mean about your true self not being in reality, not being in the driver's seat. You can't, because you're living in a world that doesn't make you free. The sunken place gives you an illusion of being free, but you're in a state of survival. You've been surviving for so long that it feels like you're free. See, what the sunken place provides, it gives you false narratives, it gives you fake truths, and it also gives you contradictions that you do not question. That's why you're still stuck in the sunken place. Like, for instance, you never realize how everybody picked on the darkest person in grade school. Like, that was just like a hidden rule. Like, nobody said let's pick on the darkest person. It was just automatically the darkest person. I remember, if you were African, you was a booty scratcher. That's what it was. If you were black, you was a booty scratcher. If you was a Haitian, you ate cats. And it wasn't like white people came to you and were like, yo. No, it was embedded in you already, because the vibration of America ensues that. It gave you that vibration. No one had to tell you that, because it was already done. It was already given. You was just learning what the outside was teaching you, and you didn't even know it. You're in a sunken place. Now, in the sunken place, there's only two ways of getting out, and I'm going to be all honest. The two ways are black people helping you get out, or white people helping you get out. There is a difference, and one of them isn't good. I'm going to be completely honest with you. In the sunken place, like I said, it's full of false narrative, truths, and lies. And the person who conducts the sunken place for you are your oppressors. Your oppressors are the one that pushed you into the sunken place. And quite frankly, whoever pushed you in the sunken place is the driver's seat. My question to those who lets the white person lend a hand to get out the sunken place is, why are you letting the person who pushed you in take you out? You have to understand that you cannot assume that all Caucasian people are automatically your friend. You're in a sunken place. It already lies in there. Now, I have to explain what white people helping you get out the sunken place is. When a white person gets you out the sunken place, they're not really helping you get out the sunken place. When a white individual removes you from the sunken place, he molds you into an Uncle Tom. Now, what is an Uncle Tom? I'm glad you asked. An Uncle Tom is someone who chooses to accept the white lifestyle, and they're unable to obtain the white lifestyle only because of one reason. You aren't white. You're not white. You're not Caucasian, okay? You're not the skin color of the mayonnaise. Now, when a black person aids you out of that sunken place, first of all, they have to be taken out from another black person. Uncle Tom can pull a black person out. That's another version. That's just a second-rate white person. That's what it is. Uncle Toms are people who are second-rate white people. Uncle Toms will tell you that, you're not a victim. Like, why are you always trying to victimize everything? Uncle Tom's gonna say racism is over. Uncle Tom's gonna mention how we had Obama. Racism had to be done. Racist people come and the thing is, no, you're in the sunken place, Uncle Tom. White people just made you think you escaped. They made you escape the sunken place just to put you in a deeper sunken place. When a black person helps you out the sunken place, what they do is they give you the reality they peeped and hope you peep it too. A white person can trick you out of the sunken place and put you in a new sunken place. A black person can only do that if they're an Uncle Tom. And you know who's an Uncle Tom or not. And Uncle Tom is a coon, a house nigga, a bootlicker. And Uncle Tom is a person who wants to be Caucasian, even if they know it or don't. A good example is Tom from Boondocks. You don't peep the name Uncle Tom. He's a black individual who has the white sensibility. White people love him. He's not too black. He's not black as fuck. The question is, what the fuck is black as fuck? If you ask a white individual, they would give you the most racist answer. Hey, come on, man. Like, let's be honest. You'll be like, yo, Ohaji, what about the liberal white people? The liberals, they want to help black people. To be honest, fellow melanin, I'm scared of them too. I am scared of white liberals because white liberals give me a sense of over acceptance. Well, I fucked up. Let me fix that. They give me a sense of over obsession over us. Is that not weird? And the over obsession is almost like they want to be us. Like, those are the same people who knows our culture better than we do. Who always talks about how they have diverse group of friends. They have to date a black person. They have to date a black person. Obama was probably their favorite president. I honestly believe that the reason why they're obsessed with us is because they want to be us. That's how I honestly, and that's how I believe half of the liberals are. The other half are like the Northerns back in the days. They don't really give a fuck about us. They still want to control us without us peeping. They're the ones that want to control us. They're the ones that want us to become Uncle Toms. So I feel like one half wants to be us. The other half wants us to be Uncle Toms. And that's how I see it. And most people believe because, oh, white people are dating black people that they aren't racist. But didn't the master sleep with the slaves? They raped the slaves. Excuse me, they ain't sleep with them. It was never consensual. A lot of the Uncle Toms will talk about how they're not victim. Like, you have a victim mentality, Ohaji. That's what they would say. And I would be like, you have Stockholm syndrome. You'd be like, whoa, Stockholm. That's a crazy allegation you're giving a person. Yeah, they got Stockholm syndrome. And what Stockholm syndrome is when you are fond of your capture, of the person who captured you. And it makes sense because the way how Stockholm syndrome works, it's a defense mechanism that you do after you're around someone so evil. They probably show you a little sign of goodness, like Beauty and the Beast. I'm not gonna lie. Yo, white people are Beauty and the Beast in us. We're Beauty and they're the Beast. That's how and that's how it's being portrayed. After they captured us, we've seen how evil they can be. And then they do a little light good shit and we assume everything is fine. And in actuality, we're fucked. And that's what they're doing. Like, they give us these false wins and make us in the sunken and puts us in the sunken place. For instance, the 13th Amendment abolishes slavery except if you go to prison. My question is, why did they put that in there? Like, why did they have to make sure to put that in there? So I did some research and found out the prison system was made a little before slavery ended. It was such a new thing that when they brought it, they were like, we could put a whole bunch of black people in here and make them continue the work that they stopped doing us for free. And most of us have Stockholm syndrome because we get this 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the 15th Amendment, but nothing really changed. The game didn't change. It just played differently. The players has been switched. The rules have changed in the game of racism. And we haven't peeped it because we're in the sunken place. If we continue letting white people trying to remove us from the sunken place, we will never actually be out of the sunken place. I really do believe most of them want to be us. Think about it. You see how athletic we are? Do you peep how intelligent we really are? You seen how much profit they got from slavery? If you can't beat them, you beat them. You really have to open your... Fuck that third eye. You really have to open your eyes and see what's happening. And then, you know, the Uncle Toms are going to say, well, Ohaji, you're not going to talk about integration? We got integration. We integrated like we wanted. Unfortunately, we integrated in a burning house. I lied. We integrated in a burning neighborhood because our houses are shit. We're not in the same house as whites. Come on, stop playing. They tricked us into integration if you don't peep. They made the black struggle more complicated. If white people don't like it, they fuck it up. Why do you think they put us in integration? Because they know it's going to make it more complicated than it is. Now, a long time ago, there was a person named Marcus Garvey who tried to make black people independent from white people. And white people purposely fucked it up. Why did they do that purposely and not try to fuck up us integrating? Because they're making us in the sunken place. And when a black person gets you out the sunken place, you become a revolutionary. You peep the scene, so you speak about it. You see it, and you start doing shit. And you realize that there's certain things that white people aren't comfortable with. Like when you decide to grow your hair out and you get locks, white people get uncomfortable, especially when you freeform. Tattoos on a black person makes them even more scared than on a white individual. Come on. I remember when there was narratives like, if you have tattoos, they're not going to hire you. That's true. But it's if you were black and have tattoos, you was never getting a job, nigga. White people, if you were white and had tattoos, that's a problem. If you was black and had tattoos, that was a complete issue. You have to peep the levels of this shit. And then people are going to lie to you and tell you that slavery is dead. The current president of the United States just signed a bill stopping hate to Asians. I ain't hear nothing about black people yet, to be honest. And I think we're the reasons why he was elected. Obama, when he talked about George Floyd, when he talked about George Zimmerman's case, first he thanked the judge and the jury for that bullshit verdict. And then one would say, well, he's president, he has to keep it professional. Well, that's why I consider him an Uncle Tom. Because in this day and age, you can't just be black. You also have to think black. Because if you don't think black, you are an Uncle Tom. And him not expressing himself how he felt. Because if you look at his speech, he talks about how there's racism in America without saying there's racism in America. And that's Uncle Tomish. That is an Uncle Tom like answer. For him not to express how shitty the verdict is, and for him to be like, well, the state have to fix that. What, Mr. President of the United States? What did you just say? It's baffling and it's kind of scary. And this is just one look of how this podcast is going to be throughout these years. Hopefully. That I waken people up and make you be more engaged in this podcast. So you really see what America is doing. Because I really want to educate and prove. What this podcast is really for is to fund my Black Liberation Party. It's a party where I want it's blacks only. That sounds racist. Shut up. It's a black only organization where we show our black boys and girls our history before slavery. We teach them how to be a black man and a black woman in America. We teach our men and women how to properly use a gun, how to clean it, etc. I'm hoping of making an after school care for kids, a breakfast program for kids. I'm also hopefully getting a headquarters working together. And I'm only doing this right now through the podcast because every time I have a job, I go through so many racist shit. It's not even funny. But yeah, it's funny now to me now because it's really fuck them. But at the end of the day, I just hope that everyone understands that what the sunken place is, and it's not a good place to be in, and hopefully we can fix that. Peace and love to all my melanin rich people, and those who have melanin in their skin and doesn't show. I hope one day it does. No, I'm joking. I love you guys. Peace.